Night settled over the desert like a soft cloak, quiet, cool, and full of secrets. A lone lantern flickered outside a tiny village near the cliffs, its flame trembling as though it sensed something holy approaching. Inside the village walked a young woman named Mara, her hands rough from work, her heart heavy from silence. She had prayed for years but felt unheard. She wanted healing, but more than that, she wanted to matter. Some nights she wondered if heaven had simply forgotten her name. That night, as she walked past the cliffs, she saw a lone figure sitting beside the lantern. A man, silent, still, yet somehow brighter than the flame beside him. Her breath caught, not because of his face, but because of the peace that radiated from him like warm water spreading through cold hands. "Come sit," he said, with a smile as gentle as sunrise. She hesitated. "Do you know me?" "I knew you before you knew your own voice," he said, "and I know why your heart trembles tonight." Something inside her cracked. "I feel invisible," she whispered. "Everyone passes me by. Even God seems quiet." He smiled in a way that made tears spring to her eyes. "God isn't quiet. You are simply standing in a doorway with your hands over your ears." She blinked. "What doorway?" "The one between who you think you are and who you were meant to be." He lifted the lantern between them, its flame reflecting in his eyes. "This," he said, "is why I am here tonight. Not to perform wonders, not to draw crowds, but to speak to a single heart. Yours." The wind stilled, as if listening. Mara swallowed. "But why me? I am nothing special." Now his expression changed, strong, almost fierce, as though a storm had passed behind his gaze. "Do not insult the artist by despising his own painting." His voice softened. "You were loved before light touched the first dawn." Her knees nearly buckled. It felt like the ground beneath her had dissolved, and she was floating, held by something vast and eternal. Then he stood and began walking toward the cliffs. "Come," he said, "I want to show you something." They climbed a narrow path. The moon glowed silver on the rocks. When they reached the top, the world stretched open, endless stars, an ocean of wind, the village a scattering of warm dots far below. "Why did you bring me here?" she asked. He pointed at the lights. "Each home down there holds a story, a fear, a hope, a wound, and every soul carries a secret prayer." He turned to her. "Tonight, you are carrying many." Her voice shook. "I am afraid of failing, of being unworthy, of disappointing God." He stepped closer, his robe brushing the dust. "The Father is not a judge waiting for mistakes. He is a gardener waiting for blossoms." She covered her face. "But what if I never bloom?" "You already have," he whispered, and for the first time, she believed him. A single tear slid down her cheek. He reached out, not with power or miracles, but simply with a hand warm from the desert air, and he wiped her tears with his thumb. "You think heaven wants perfection, but heaven wants honesty. You think faith is a mountain. It is simply a step. You think you must earn love, but love was yours long before you breathed." They stood on the cliff in silence. The air tasted like new beginnings. Finally, he pointed to the lantern still glowing below. "Do you see that?" "Yes, that is the last lantern in the village that still burns this late. Tonight, it is your sign." "My sign?" He nodded. "You feel small, but the smallest flame still defeats the deepest darkness." He placed his hand over her heart. "This is your lantern." Her breath hitched. She felt warmth, like dawn pushing open inside her ribs. "When you return to your village," he said, "you will speak words that heal someone far more broken than you, and you will understand why I called you here." She shook her head. "But I don't know how to help anyone." "You do," he said, "because you know what loneliness tastes like." The wind curled around them, lifting his hair like threads of gold. "Go now," he said, stepping back. "I'll walk with you, though you won't always see me." Something inside her wanted to cling to him, to beg him not to leave, but instead she nodded and began descending the path. Halfway down, she turned to look at him, but the cliff was empty. Only the stars remained. Yet she was not afraid. The next morning, Mara walked into the village marketplace, her heart still carrying the warmth of that clifftop moment, and there she saw a young boy crying beside a fallen basket of figs. The villagers walked past him as if he were air. Mara knelt beside him. "What's wrong?"
My father is sick, and he thinks God is angry at him. Everyone says God is angry." Mara felt a surge of emotion, pain, compassion, recognition. She took a deep breath, and the words came to her like sunlight breaking through clouds. "God is not angry at your father. God is holding him, and he sees you. He hears you. You are not alone." The boy looked up, as though those were the first words of hope he had heard in his life, and at that moment, Mara felt it, the warmth in her chest, the lantern glowing brighter than ever. She realized this was the person Jesus had meant. This was why he had come to her. This was her place in the story. And as the boy smiled through his tears, Mara whispered to herself, "I understand now."